In the far right corner, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Quick question. Was there any hesitation pulling Wood after the first hit he'd given up in the whole game?
Yeah, there was. I thought that he pitched an incredible game. Both starters tonight were lights out, and Woody's command tonight, his compete was just off the charts. The focus, and just on this stage to leave it all out there, I just felt that where they were at in the order and how much he's been used or pushed over the last month, right there, he that's all he had, and for me, for us, that was plenty, and it was time for us as an offense to pick him up, and I felt good going to Morrow right there, and can't say enough about what Brandon and the pen did tonight. But yeah, Woody set the tone for us and just outstanding tonight.
To your right, Dave. Joel.
Dave, yesterday in here you said you were sticking with Bellinger in the cleanup spot through some real difficulties, and I think you mentioned he was just going out of the strike zone too much. Did he get back in the strike zone tonight in those last two at-bats? And what made you feel that a young, inexperienced player would be able to reverse course before this series ended?
I did feel that he went back in the strike zone, and I think, Joel, it's one of those things where he's just got that calmness about him, and when things speed up, he has a way of sort of resetting and not letting it spiral. And even this year in his first year, there were times where he started to struggle, and he was able to slow the game down and not put too much pressure on himself. And you look at the at-bats tonight that he had, huge. He came up big. And the one thing with Cody, though, is that he's such a defensive star out there that the defense obviously helps us win baseball games as well. But it was absolutely good to see him come back tonight with a couple big doubles.
In the third row, Kevin.
Dave, you mentioned compete. Overall, the whole team, the mindset after what's happened in the last 24 hours has been a very kind of busy World Series. What was this team all about tonight?
Well, I think both teams really athletic, just play their tails off. And I think for us to really early on versus Morton didn't really have great at-bats, and really he had really good stuff. The fastball was playing tonight, the curveball, the slider. I threw a couple right-on-right changes to our guys that we really weren't ready for. But you look at Kike and the two-out hit by Logan, and just to kind of stay the course, there were some great defensive plays. Logan out there, JT at third. So the defense kept us in the game. Woody pitched well. But for us to, in the ninth against Giles, their closer, get the base knock and then a walk and the big hits following, it was a complete team effort. But I think for us is you're down 2-1, and you just go in there with the focus of trying to win one game, and that's what we did tonight.
Fifth row.
Hi, Dave. You mentioned Cody not leaving the strike zone. What did you like about his approach beyond that in those last couple of bats?
I think that you look at yourself and you punch 4 times in a row the night before. You fly out in a decent at bat, your first at bat, then you punch again, and then the game starts getting more important and towards the end of the game. But for him to really keep that calmness about him says a lot about the makeup of the player. And there's certain players that just have that innate ability to be in that spot, to want to be in that big spot. And Cody, you can see the heartbeat is really good.
Tyler?
Dave, it seems like there's been a little bit of a philosophy shift in baseball among managers. Instead of using relievers to put out the fire, you want to make sure the fire doesn't start in the first place. Can you explain a little bit how that came about and where you stand on that idea of pulling a guy even if he's doing great?
I think it's more of you got to put yourself out there, because I think that in baseball it's very reactionary, and to be able to try to be proactive and get ahead of something that potentially might happen, and to go a direction that might increase your chances marginally that we don't know. I think that us as an organization, I believe that, but you do open yourself up for some criticism. But I think for us, for tonight, I thought Alex earned the opportunity, obviously, the way he was throwing the baseball, didn't give up any hard contact, to continue to go. But at that point in time, after the homer, I just felt that right there. I just saw that. For me, I felt that was good enough. That was enough that he needed to give us. And to go right to the pen right there, I felt that we can keep him there. We win the game.
To your left, Dave. Allison.
Morrow's thrown 4 times in 5 days. He's been so valuable for you. Just how important is that? Is his role, and is he available in Game 5?
He's available. He's available. And we'll get Kenta back. We've got our horse going to start tomorrow, number 22. And you look at how we match up and use our pen, and to have bridge guys that to get to the big man at the back end is imperative. And today we did have Rich Hill in the pen if we needed him, but the innings that BMO and Waddy gave us were obviously huge to allow us to get to Kenley. So if those guys can't do their job, it just doesn't work. But a credit to all those guys.
Anything else for Dave? Bob, and then Allison, and we'll get some of Dave's players in here.
Dave, you just mentioned Kershaw going into the big game 5. How much confidence it gives you knowing that he's next?
I like where we're at. This series up to this point, we've played 4 games, and there's been so many emotional swings, and we're dead even right now. And it's a 3-game series, and we've got our ace going tomorrow. So I know that in our clubhouse, we feel good. We're going to enjoy tonight. It was a hard-fought ball game, but I promise you we'll be ready to go to win 1 game tomorrow.
And Allison.
Culberson pinch ran for Turner. Was there any kind of injury issue there?
He got hit on the calf at some point tonight, and so he just told me just to keep an eye on him. And once he got to third base, I just felt that he went first to third, and if there was a medium fly ball that that Jock would hit or something like that, I felt that I don't want to push him too much, make sure he's available for tomorrow, and don't want to put him in harm's way. So that's it. He says he's fine. He'll be ready to go tomorrow.
One last one for Dave? No? All right, Dave. Thanks
Thanks,
so much. Cody Bellinger.